Hey everybody, I sat down on my computer today and I asked myself, what do I want to play? I want to play this game and I want to record it and show you how awesome it is. So I've got quite a few games, but I think I'll start a new one for you. As you can see, there's not much in the way of graphics options, but it does have a UI scale, which is amazing for my monitor resolution. Sometimes it's really hard to read the UI with a 1440p monitor, especially when recording it on people who run it on smaller resolutions. I think we will switch to Fahrenheit, otherwise I'll have no idea what relative temperatures are. And sure, we can send metrics data. It does have some very nice programmable controls. I typically use the default ones. They are just fine. And we will hit new game. So we'll start out with a standard game. And while it's generating the world, I'll discuss this game real quick. You may have heard of a game called Don't Starve or Don't Starve Together. Well, the same guys made I cannot talk today. The same guys made this game, and it is still in early access, but there is more than enough here to get you by. I think that, maybe I really like both these traits, but I think that's a pretty horrible one. I think I might try it. And then this one has +5 creativity, 7 athletic. Okay, that's okay. And then immunity digging. Well, I think that we have creativity. The attributes that you want to look at here are you want someone that's really good at learning, you want someone that's really creative, and then look for other things. Mouth breather and bottom. You know what? Let's just try everything. Star-crossed pigpen, that is great. I think I like everything about those original things. We will just start out with the defaults. Alright, so here we go. Your crew is awoken, stranded inside a distant asteroid. Oddly, they cannot recall how they get there. They'll need to find more answers to survive. One of the things I noticed in one of my last plays actually had a like a computer room somewhere off to the side there. It's like I'd never seen that before. Okay, but well, whatever. The very first thing you need to do is dig out a path for a lot of things, but oh boy, this is interesting. I can't dig too much that way. Well, this will be an interesting start. Normally you can dig a ways to the right or the left along flat land, but this is kind of a weird setup here originally. I think that, let's see, the first priority is still going to be getting an outhouse going, and I think that I will skip until I've got the next stage done. Alright, we have cleared out enough. We have a pitcher pump built over there. And now we can go to plumbing and let's build an outhouse right there. That is one of the very first things that you need to build. And along with that, you need a wash basin because they are going to want to wash their hands right before they head back to the rest of the colony. So it's good to put this kind of area off kind of by itself, so whenever they get contaminated, they can't just run and grab some food. They have to stop and wash their hands first. And then, of course, a lot of times in a lot of games, it has taken much longer to get water. Water seems to normally be further away from the starting, but you know what? It kind of started out really conveniently close to me, so now they can, as soon as this is built, you'll see someone running up to the pitcher pump. They're going to pump some water and bring it back down here to this wash basin. And then we will set the wash basin to the right because I don't want them to have to feel like they need to wash their hands coming in. If they're just going to the bathroom, they can go to the bathroom and then on the way out, they'll be a little bit contaminated. They will wash their hands. So I think that is a good place. And there we see Bana. She is coming back and she dropped off some water. Okay, so now let's continue. Let's see, where are we going to? I think that we want to dig this way a little bit more. Well, I don't know. That gets into some water. How much water is that? That's not that much water, but I think it's just enough to give us some trouble. I think that instead we will just build another layer right up there. And that is going to be where their homes are going to be. So we're going to have to dig out all of that. And we're going to need a ladder on up there. And then generally I like having them... yeah, let's actually change that. Let's change that. Let's have them go on up there. And I generally like having the ladder all the way up through the top. At this time, let's toggle the oxygen, which is F1. You can also click it over here in the menu. Let's get rid of the building menu. And you can see that right now we are very breathable. We are good. If you ever want to know the status, you can click on that report tab. And I love games that have statistics and numbers. And I'm so happy that they included a detailed little spreadsheet there of what your colony is using and, you know, what gets added each day. And then the remove. Actually, that reminds me, the very first thing, more important than water or oxygen early on, is typically food. So right now we have the nutrient bars that you start off with and then some meat. So after we build, actually beds are... I like building their beds first because it gives them some comfort. But really, the first priority should probably be food. So actually, let's go down here and let's dig up all of those plants. I am not... Let's see, mealwood is very good, buried muckroot. Mealwood is good because you can plant that in planter boxes. We're going to have to get some research going here pretty quick. So actually, that's one of the things we can do right now. Let's go to the base. No, not base. We want power. And we want a manual generator. We want wire. Oh boy. See, we do not have enough copper. Where is copper? Okay. There's some copper. We're going to have to dig up all of that copper. And that will give us the copper that we need for building this little generation station. I think over here, one of the reasons you see why I used... Oh, okay, it is nighttime. And this little guy is going to come and destroy some of our base. We're going to have to... No, no. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. I don't want him eating up my resources, even though it is generally just sandstone. A lot of the more experienced players I have seen that they say you can don't destroy those guys and like build a little trapped area for them, because when they are trapped, you can actually throw stuff down there to them and they actually poop out coal. So that's actually kind of favorable to killing them, but I love how they just fall asleep and get right away and they're so tired. Oh, look at my little dupes. Aren't they cute? They're breathing in unison. These are called dupes. By the way, the fiction history behind the game is that you have duplicates, and you get a new duplicate every 3 cycles, and they are called dupes affectionately for short. So that is kind of the history. Let's see, we're going to build beds up there. We are going to build research right there. And while we are here, we also need to, let's see, art. We don't want anybody doing art unless it is the most creative person, because that increases the chance of a masterpiece. We want only the best guy doing research because that is the most efficient. And we want, let's see, tend to the sick and injured duplicates. Do we want everybody doing aid? I think we only want the best doing aid. Combat, we want everybody doing... Let's see, compost everybody, hydrofan can be everybody, power. It would really be best if that was left to Frankie, but if he is painting art, that would take priority over generating power. So we want someone else to do that maybe. You know what, we can look at that later when it comes time. Disinfecting, everybody can disinfect. No, let's take that away from Frankie's plate. I think everything else is good enough for that. Sweeping, I generally don't like people to perform tasks that are bad at it, because it just, you know what, pretty much everyone should be able to sweep until we get much bigger and more specialized. So, I think that right now, let's keep an eye on our oxygen. I actually died a couple games ago because... you don't need oxygen in the beginning. It's actually not a concern. But I got all the way to like day 6 or 7, and I completely just totally forgot and ignored oxygen. Some of those other menus are the power overlay. We will see more about that as we build power. Temperature overlay is relatively important because your dupes do get cold, and you know, eventually as your colony expands, you're gonna have to deal with heat so that they don't overheat your pipes and stuff like that. And thermal comfort. Okay, so light is important for growing plants and stuff like that. And let's see, it does also add some decor, which we will see from over here in the decor tab. You can see how those little lights, look at that decor. And Dupes also hate all this stuff on the ground. It gives you a negative decor. Ventilation, well, we can cover that later. Plumbing, we don't. Yeah, let's go back to our menu here. Edible, we got to keep an eye on our food. We don't want our food to run out. And let's increase the tile all the way over, because that is what we want to do. I think that we have enough copper wire, so let's build a battery. And we want to build a research station. Nope, don't have enough copper for that. So we need more metal. I think that, let's see, is that metal? I can't tell. Let's see, where else do we have metal? I think that we're going to have to build up a little bit more. So let's build up. And you do have to be careful as you expand, because it does change your oxygen levels. But I don't see really another choice. I mean, there's a few things of copper over that way, but I think that really what we want to do is build upward, because you know what, we can actually cancel all of that digging. Let's just dig, whoops. Let's just dig right there, and that is the, yeah, that's it. Okay, so then we can dig them, not dig, we can build them some cots. We're gonna have a 4th duplicate soon, so I think that I will build 2 cots. Let's see, right there, and then there and there. There we go. So we got a couple duplicates. We can put a massage table right there for when they get stressed out, but that's just a waste of resources, because our stress level for everybody is right at 0. So we don't want to worry about that. We really want that copper. So this will give us a little bit of copper on the way up there, and then let's get some more copper while we are here. And might as well dig those plants while we are here. What is this? Mealwood seed. Ooh. We want to sweep that up. Which reminds me, we don't have any storage. We need some storage compactors. I think we will put them... let's put them right there for now. And that way we can clean up all this debris, put it in here in the nice little storage, and then the dupes will not be so stressed out. Okay, did that give us enough? That did. That gave us enough copper just building that ladder. Okay, so now we want to go back to power and connect them all with wire. Now that our storage units are built, we want to store everything in there except for polluted dirt. We don't want to do that because I believe that creates polluted oxygen in this area. So let's copy those settings and apply that to all of them. So we do not have polluted dirt. Yeah, there we go. But they store everything else. Now we can give the sweep command to the entire colony, and it will make everything cleaner, which makes all of the dupes happier. Alright, our research station has been built, so now we can press the R button and get started with research. I think the most important thing probably is farming at the beginning. It allows us to build planter boxes and a compost, so that way we can start getting rid of our polluted dirt that is created by our outhouse, and also start building planter boxes. Let's take a look at our oxygen. Remember, oxygen is lighter than carbon dioxide, so I think that it might be best to have a few low spots in order for that carbon dioxide to sink to. So let's build all the way down there and maybe just dig that spot. So that way carbon dioxide will go all the way to the bottom. Alright, we have just finished our basic farming research. I think that we should just go down to, I think let's pick advanced research next. This is a big moment. We have our first new duplicate available. We want to be expanding our colony, so I'm thinking someone with digging and, strength. That does not go well with digging. Athletics helps them run around faster, which is always good, and I'm not sure if we have anybody with tinkering. So, flatulent, I don't want that. Oh boy, let's see. Quick learner and grease monkey. That would give us another one to do research. And, yeah. I think this has, oh, decor expansion 25. Oh boy, that could be tough to deal with, but I think that we could still do Ada. So with Ada, we want her to, yeah, she can go to massage. Well, everybody can do massage. Everybody's gonna cook. Everybody's gonna compost, and you can also do research. So that gives us more people to spread around. And let's see, who else do we want in athletics? Let's put you there with the power generation. And digging. There we go. So now we have someone that is really good at all of these other things. I think we will, you know what? Maybe we should take her off research just because of that. And that way we can take these guys off of repair and maintenance and disinfecting. So I think that that is the good thing to do there. And then you two will be our, let's see, moppers and harvesters. And I think that that is pretty good. And then we can leave everybody to build and sweep and deliver and dig. Okay, so I like that. We are getting a little bit more specialization here in our colony. I think that before I forget about it, I want to create a little bit of oxygen generation. And because of that, oh, we just completed some more research. Because of that, we're going to need a little bit more wire going over here to our main wire distribution, etc. thing. So there we go. And that will allow us to push down, it'll help push down all those carbon dioxide low spots. So that will help us out there. And we have this is going to be a little bit messy, but I hate having ugly walls, so we're gonna do that. And then just mop up the water and deal with the mess later. So we'll just, yeah, we'll deal with that when it comes. We need them to continue up there digging. And, oh, everybody's going to bed. And, oh good, Ada found a bed. Good job. So over here, I have had a few duplicates that have drowned when they fell into the water somehow accidentally. I don't know, I wasn't paying attention, but I just know they fell into the water and they couldn't get out, and then before I realized it, they died. And I don't want that to happen, so I'm building a ladder up for them in case they do happen to fall. And over here, I am doing a little bit more of an area to clear out because I want to put a bottle dispenser here from plumbing. So that way if we get any open, if we get any water on any of the floors, they can mop it up and dump it in here over to this water supply trench area. So that is what I am doing over here. And then I need to set it to only drop in water. So that way you will never drop in polluted water into our water supply. That is the goal. We are looking at a place to build our supercomputer. The goal, I did this a little bit early, more than I had to, but I like making my people happy. And what I am trying to do is, if you click on the decor over here, it is hideous. They hate it. And what I am trying to do, so let's look at our research path. Oops, wrong button. I went to advanced research, which lets you get a supercomputer. That's what you need for that second bar. It's called intermediate research. And the novice research is the research station. So right there, you can see that's unlocked at the supercomputer. So we just completed interior decor. I am moving on to artistic expression. It lets us make those canvases and sculpting blocks that we can put throughout our little colony, and that will really help make our people a lot happier with their jobs and everything that they are doing. So that was the goal there behind why I did what I did. Something I forgot to do early on with the food research for the planter boxes, it did give us, where is it, refinement, compost. So one of the things is this needs to be emptied out. Let's see, we want it way over here. It's a little bit out of the way, but the outhouse needs emptying, right? And that generates polluted dirt. We'll put the polluted dirt there to make fertilizer, and with that, then we can spread it on plants and other things. Alright, we have created art. I have selected plumbing, so now we can add a little bit of decor to make our people happier all over the place. So we especially want to work on their bedrooms first, and then we can work on the other areas later. Let's make everything really, really good up there. We want them as happy as possible. We're gonna set up this to store our, where is agriculture? We can set it up to store fertilizer and seed. We do not want these to store fertilizer. So really nothing with agriculture or seed, the first two columns. And yeah, everything else can be stored down there. Okay, so now we have this set up for storing our seed. There we go. I think we're getting a little move on here. Let's get food right there. We want to keep on keeping on. All right, our little colony is growing strong. Not much has happened in the time since. I added a little algae deoxidizer over here because this area was not getting very good oxygen. But part of that is because one of the things you can do as you grow your colonies, you can have an airflow tile that lets air pass between the layers, so the oxygen would do a better job of going up and the carbon dioxide would do a better job falling. However, we did not do that very well. It's just, this is the kind of a weird setup where it's more vertical than any of my other colonies have been because of the water on the left and the right, instead of the water on all of my other colonies has started either below you or above you. So this is a little bit awkward. As you can see, we can't expand very much because we have all this kind of dangerous gas out to the side that we're gonna have to deal with, and it's a very slow process. The slime can give you slime lung, all these types of unbreathable gases. And so we're going to have to expand slowly as we learn how to deal with those. But for now, we have some art going. Well, we have a canvas built, and then we have to paint on them. But, oh boy, what's wrong? Yeah, I think we need another outhouse. That is something that I failed to do. Oh boy. And that generally means we need another sink because I don't want them to pass by. But oh boy, that is an ugly mess. We have to send someone down there to mop that up. Alright, here is the plan to get rid of the polluted water. We are digging a little pit over here that we are going to, oops. Oh boy, what is that? Oh boy. Everyone attack. Alright, he is dead and dead, so what we want to do is we want to build a bottle emptier. We press O to flip it, and as soon as we have that pad built, there we go. So we are going to dump water, only polluted water, down over here into this little pit. And I think that should be enough to last us for a while. Alright, so we are setting this up to polluted water. We can, let's slow down time a little bit now because we can set up, well, you know what? Maybe I should get those seeds first. So let's sweep this out first. Actually, let's sweep that out at the highest priority, and then we will sweep up all the polluted water. So we will do that next. And while we are waiting, we can choose a new duplicate. Ooh, you look interesting. You are a little bit of everything. I can get another scientist. You know what? Do I have any cooks? Oh, but you're a binge eater. Oh boy. So here's part of the problem. As your colony grows, these other food quality expectations, decor expectations, you know, basically as they get better, they expect more as well. So that, I don't want two binge eaters. Destructive, that's really bad if they get stressed out. And they also cannot perform job repair. Well, I think that even though I don't want a destructive stress response, I really don't want two binge eaters when my colony could potentially be struggling for calories. So, you know what? You're not good at anything, so let's just leave you to do a little bit of everything, and you'll take off the load off of everybody else's individual jobs. I think that's probably the way that we will go. So we will, let's see, yeah, I have all those on priority 9, pick those up, and then we will sweep up all that polluted junk. And we have our planter boxes going, but unfortunately, oh, so who do we have assigned to build? Is that everybody? Everyone's assigned to build. It's just not a very high priority right now, unfortunately, because we are waiting for these things are waiting to grow until we get our light built there. So that is a little bit of a downside, but I think we are going just fine. They are storing things and sweeping up things, and okay, I think that what we really need to do is get an airlock. So that is going to be our next research, and then of course that'll take our researcher away from doing everything else. But that's not the end of the world. Okay, we are done with that. Now we get to sweep up all of these polluted water bottles. Alright, so you haven't missed much. I think the only thing that we did was build an algae terrarium there, because that started getting most of our carbon dioxide buildup. We added a few airflow vents. Remember, we finished this pressure management research that allowed that to happen. So now we have some, we actually want, well, I guess we can put the airlock there. I was kind of thinking of airlocking in the entire bathroom area, but really, we only need to airlock this area, and they can basically just hold their breath, I guess, when they go on in. So let's, where would that be? I thought it was ventilation, and not plumbing. Is it base? There it is, the manual airlock. So let's put enough room for a couple, and then we need a couple tiles, and that'll take care of the, you know what, this typically produces the polluted oxygen, yeah, right there. So eventually this whole area, we kind of want it safe, and we can work on taking care of it later as it builds up, but this will prevent it from getting into the rest of our base. You can see we expanded our cots a little bit, so we have Marie now assigned to a cot. She had to sleep on the floor one night, and we have our planter boxes growing. We have to build a microbe musher right there, which will allow us to make it into some of the basic food elements. They're still not very good, but that's going to need some power as well. And then let's see, what else? I guess we need to keep building a few more planter boxes, and let's go over there. So I believe that's F5 for light. So we can build, I don't know if that'll get it or not. We actually should have built, the mealwood on further down, but whatever. This has actually gone on pretty far for not having to build a microbe musher before this, but a lot of it was the meat, and you know, part of the problem is they are eating the actual fruit of the plant instead of waiting until we can produce it into something a little bit better. So actually we need some more copper. So let's get some more copper. I think we can get to that level. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, we can't. So we're gonna have to mine from up here, and let's put this at the highest priority because it is very important. Coal is also really nice for power production, so that way you don't have to always have someone spinning on a little wheel. But yeah, so that'll have to, okay, there we go, and that should be enough copper to produce our microbe musher, and we can set up it as a little build thing so that they can start building. And let's look at our oxygen. That is much improved. Eventually, I think a plan for next episode will be getting this water. I kind of want it down here at the bottom so all of our oxygen can flow to the top, and then the carbon dioxide will flow to the bottom to kind of, you know, on top of the water like it's doing now. Because right now, this is kind of tough because it's in a hard spot, and I think it'd be easier for our base to control if it was just at the bottom. Then we can put all of our scrubbers down there at the bottom, and then we will work on expanding outward, dealing with all of those dangerous gases and toxic fumes and slime lung. But first, we need to keep going on our research. And I think that we will, let's see, medical research or clothing. Clothing, well, I don't think we have the ability to build clothing, even if we did have clothing. I think this is the most obvious. Power, regulation, and then we will build out from there. Now that we have easy access to coal, I'm thinking that we will do a coal generator. That will be very nice, but of course, you know, internal combustion creates gases that will pollute, so you have to be careful with that. But for now, while our little dupes sleep, I think that I will call that an episode, and thank you everybody for watching. I hope that, you know, I'm probably, oh, that is a disturbing masterpiece. Look at that guy, poor little, I wonder what a psychologist would have to say about that. That person had a troubled childhood or something. Anyway, I think that will about do it. I thank you guys for watching. I'm probably not the best person to learn from, but if you like me and you like listening to me for some reason, then hopefully I brought a little insight into this awesome game. I highly recommend you checking it out if you like building games. Like I said before in the beginning, I would not be scared at all by the fact that this is early access. It is from a pretty much proven, as proven as you can be, proven indie developer. And I mean, are they really indie anymore? I mean, when do you transition from the stage to indie and not indie? I don't know. Anyway, these guys are building an awesome game. They have already built several awesome games, so I highly recommend you check out Oxygen Not Included. And yeah, that's about all I have to say on that. So, yeah, thanks again. I will end my speech now, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks again. Bye-bye.